Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another video, and this is video number 7 in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series X-Men, The Age of Apocalypse Sugarman Build-A-Figure Wave. This is Dark Beast. So this is Beast from an alternate timeline or an alternate universe altogether because they retconned it afterwards, but it is not the normal Hank McCoy Beast that we know and love. It is an evil version. He actually works with Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse, so this is a bad Beast, as you could tell from his look. This is an awesome looking figure. This head sculpt always looked kind of small, but that one is gigantic on that figure. It uses a lot of the same parts from this one that we had seen before, but there is some new stuff going on here. One of the only figures in the wave to actually get some accessories, but all he has is the additional hands because you know what? Those are the same hands that we got with this guy, so it was very easy to just include those hands, but still awesome nonetheless. From everything that I see, this is the figure that people want the most from the wave. Now again, I did not get this from a store or any kind. No one shipped it out. The pre-orders are not shipping. I picked this up from a seller on Mercari that had the whole wave. How he got them early, I have absolutely no idea, but I went ahead and paid the premium price for it to get it to review for you guys. So without further ado, let's get to it. Age of Apocalypse logo up there, Build-A-Figure Sugarman. Side artwork looking just absolutely awesome. I really love all of them, how they look. Check out my Instagram to see them all side by side together. Here is a look at the figure on the back of the package. The bio reads, Marvel's Dark Beast, Dr. Henry McCoy constantly experiments on himself to enhance his superhuman powers. Not only that, he also experiments on others. So he was experimenting on Cyclops and Alex Summers' dad. And then he escaped, all kinds of things. I was able to get that far into the storyline and couldn't get any further because these waves showed up, so I spent my time now reviewing it. So, let's get this thing opened up. Okay, and here is the Dark Beast figure out of the package, and he is standing on one... No, he isn't. Anyway, you can't get him to stand on one hand. It just takes a lot of practice and balance to get him to stay up there. You can get him up there, and then he wants to fall down. So it is possible. You just have to work out the balancing of it and everything. But he can happen. Look at that. Now I get it. No problem. Anyway, it is an awesome thing. He comes with 2 hands. He comes with the weapon for Sugarman, which is just a hammer that says sugar on it. Unfortunately, most of the time, I think he also has an axe with him. But we only get the hammer, and you can see lots of marbleization in there. So that's the Build-A-Figure piece. We throw that in the corner there, and then his accessories are these additional hands. Now out of the package, his left hand is this kind of open claw holding hand potentially, but I switched it for the flat palm so he can stand on one hand, and then he also has a fist for his right hand. Now let's take a closer look at the Dark Beast. Okay, here is an up-close look at Marvel's Dark Beast, and this head sculpt is amazing. They did a fantastic job really bringing Dark Beast right from the comic book onto plastic form right here in front of us. Amazing job by Hasbro. So this figure gets a little bit more paint apps. You see a couple things. His eyes are yellow. We get gold earrings up there. Up here we get red for the bands around his hair. Nice whitish color for the teeth. Then the hair is a darker color. Some of the facial hair portions are darker, kind of grayish. Not quite black, but a dark gray for his eyebrows, and then kind of the little bit there on the sides as we focus back in. Just came out looking fantastic. Now, this figure is not completely the same as the other one, and I'll do a side-by-side comparison later, but looking at it, you got the upper torso, this portion, the arms are all the same, but then you have the lower torso portion is different. So this hip joint and this hip joint, those are completely different. So this one is a brand new one. The legs are going to be new because she has pants on, and then the legs are actually different, even though they're going to look similar. There's a cut right here, and that's not actually a swivel. You can see that they kind of just... well, from what it looks like to me, they just kind of cut a portion of this leg and then kind of glued it onto that leg there. I'll do a side-by-side comparison so you can see height, and I think they are going to be a slightly different height because of that, and then the feet are definitely going to be the same. So some big changes in there from the original Beast, but a lot of the same. The pants are done in this metallic blue, which looks really nice. There's some marbleization in there, but when it's done with metallic colors, I like the marbleization and how it ends up looking. So that is pretty good. But that head sculpt is just amazing. That is really, really cool. Now let's zoom out and look at his articulation, because there's a lot of it. Okay, so Beast's articulation, we'll start with the head. You can get him to actually look down, but you're going to have a hard time getting him to look up because there's so much hair and it's much longer that it's really going to impede going back there. Shoulder, you can get the shoulder to go straight out like so, which is great. Of course, you get a full rotation there. There is the butterfly joint, so you can get that arm to go way far back. Getting it to go forward is only going to give you a little bit of motion. It's still kind of hard to get the crossbody, but you can still do it better than most, so that is awesome. There is the upper bicep swivel there. You get a solid double jointed elbow, which gives you that much bend. The bicep, of course, and the forearm are quite large, so you can't get all the way back, but that is a very good bend there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge, which comes out great with that flat hand, so you can get them to do a handstand. We have the dual ab points of articulation, so we get the diaphragm joint, which allows them to pivot to the side that much. You can pivot to the other side that much, which is great. You can get that diaphragm alone to go forward only so far. You can get it to go back much further, but then you got the ab crunch in there, so using the ab crunch going back, you can get them to go back that far total. Going forward, you can get them to go back to crunch forward this far, which isn't a whole lot, but it definitely is something. Now, there is no waist swivel on this guy because you have that upper diaphragm joint to do any of the turning motion that he's going to need there. And then here, his legs, you can get the splits this far. One big change for this figure from this figure, this one actually had that drop down hip feature to get more range of motion in the legs. This one does not. Again, remember, this is a new hip joint and these are new legs, so it does not have that drop down there. So keep that in mind. You can get them to kick forward that much, but you can kind of turn it to be able to move it all kinds of different ways. So just straight out, you're not getting a whole lot, but you can turn it to get that all kinds of crazy motion in that leg. There is an upper thigh cut there as well, so you can swivel there. It's quite stiff, but you can. You've got a double jointed knee, which works really well. Again, there is a cut here at the end of the pant leg into the fur, but there is no swivel there, so that is locked there. It's not going to go anywhere. Foot hinges down like so, hinges up quite high. You get ankle pivot, and there are peg holes at the bottom of the feet, along with some toe articulation. Again, this is the same feet that came with that previous Beast figure, so you can get the toes to go that far either way. So great articulation, even though it has slightly less compared to the previous Beast figure. Now let's see them side by side. So I'm trying to get a good side-by-side comparison to see if there's any difference in height, since we have like the different legs and the different hip joints. They look to be sitting right about the same height. Now the biggest difference is going to be their head size, of course. So the Blue Beast has a much smaller head compared to Dark Beast, and this one I think looks so much better, whereas this one I think does look a little bit small. And we know that the Retro Wave is going to have the fan channel exclusive, the gray one that has the more friendly head sculpt, which shouldn't be with that figure, should really be with this figure. So unfortunately the gray won't match the blue, but you know, people will be able to paint it. That head looks to be even smaller, so that's kind of distracting looking at this one now, having it and seeing the head sculpt so much larger. Just side by side, you can see this one I think just looks a lot better just because of that head sculpt. This is the Beast that we all know and love, but this one is just a better all-around looking figure. It is pretty awesome. Now let's see Beast next to some of the other figures from this wave. Okay, and so far here are all the figures in the wave, the Sugarman Build-A-Figure wave, all of them except of course the Build-A-Figure, because I haven't quite gotten that far yet. And Dark Beast is the tallest figure out of all of these here in the wave, and they all look really good together. So for fans of the Age of Apocalypse storyline, it is pretty awesome to get so many character designs from that specific storyline together, which is pretty cool. And again, when looking at the Age of Apocalypse storyline, there's so many unique character designs for everyone. Everyone really has a different look, except Magneto, I guess, but he has the long hair. But everyone has a very unique look in that storyline, and you could see here all the figures and kind of how everyone looks. So it's pretty awesome to see them all together. And here is the Dark Beast next to the Marvel Legends Stan Lee figure, and he is just towering over Stan Lee. And of course, here is the Dark Beast next to the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure from a couple of years ago. We are getting an Age of Apocalypse repaint in the Deluxe line, which will be a $30 figure with all kinds of changes to it. But for now, here is Dark Beast next to Apocalypse. That is a review. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this figure. I know lots of you guys saying that this is the most anticipated. Definitely one to pre-order, since this guy was so hard to find, and the solid cases and stuff, additional solid cases end up getting canceled by Hasbro. you know, we're not going to get this one, but it's a good time to get a beast with this one here. You guys let me know down in the comments below, though, if this is the one that you guys are going to be picking up. If you guys liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.